Hello, this is Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer.
Welcome home.
Soar into tower. We are ready for takeoff.
Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
Hey, it's Amy from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey Clubbers, it's Scott from DVC Clubhouse.
Hey, it's Kathleen from DVC Clubhouse.
Welcome aboard. It's Phil from DVC Clubhouse.
Gotta get in the zone. All right, here I go. Hey, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Debrief Podcast brought to you by DVC Clubhouse. I am Amy, and I am joined, as always, by Phil, Scott, and Kathleen. Hey, guys.
Hello, Clubbers.
Hello.
Hey guys.
'Tis the season. It is going to be Thanksgiving on Thursday, and so when you all are listening to this, it'll be the Monday before Thanksgiving. And so we thought that we would do a little holiday issue or episode. You know what? It's confusing for me because I work in magazines, so I talk about issues a lot and not. Sorry.
Thank goodness for the edit feature.
I was gonna say not the kind of issues you think, but magazine
Amy's just
issues.
working through her issues here, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
I'm working
that's all.
through my issues. Yeah, so no, this is an episode of a podcast. We thought that it would be fun to talk to you guys about the holidays at Walt Disney World. Kind of just, it's a broad topic, but we're just going to see where it goes, talking about the parks, the resorts, things we love to do, things we could skip. Phil, just before we hopped on and started recording, Phil was saying that he was jealous of Kathleen and Scott's Facebook photos that they posted. And
Oh, those
again,
pictures killed me.
shameless plug for our Facebook group, DVC Clubhouse. But yeah, Kathleen and Scott posted some pictures in there of Hollywood Studios all decorated for the holidays. So Phil got a little jealous.
Best park for decorations.
I am less than 3 weeks away, and I can't wait. I can hear the music in my mind.
Best music, best nostalgic decorations. Sorry, Magic Kingdom, move over.
My wife said it best. We were talking about it, and she said it's got that Rockefeller feel to it. You really feel like you've got that Old Town Rockefeller Center. Did I just drop an R? Oh, that Rhode Island accent. Rockefeller Center. I gotta really make sure I highlight
Park
those.
the car.
They got to park the car. That's what she said, though. She said it's just got this Rockefeller Center feel to it, like you're walking through downtown New York, but back in the 40s. It's just, man, it just hits in the feels. Don't we talk about that all the time? You feel all the feels.
It definitely does. Even before you're in the park, you hear it with the music.
Yeah, I love it too. I mean, there's something about it that it makes you feel like, I don't know, it's like I feel like getting dressed up when I go there. You know what I mean? It's like it feels like that glitzy Hollywood
You say
vibe
that. I was seriously considering getting the kids into a whole Christmas Dapper Days outfit to go to Hollywood Studios, and I am not a Dapper Days kind of guy, but immediately what came into my head was getting the kids dressed up in these super classy 1940s or 50s Dapper Day Christmas get-ups to go into Hollywood Studios one night.
Yeah, I love that. And I get that. I totally get that feeling. And like one day I want to do that. Ditch the sneakers and I say that. I have all of these ideas and then I remember that I walked 25,000 steps and so that there's really the footwear I would want to wear that would be appropriate with my Dapper holiday outfit would probably end up killing me.
Well, when we were leaving, it was the first night of Jollywood, and
Everybody was dressed up.
everybody was dressed up like it was Dapper Day.
How'd that work out for them?
That was probably the most enjoyable part of their night, but
That sounds like it. That got hit pretty hard.
yeah.
But the good news is hopefully they had comfortable shoes on to spend the entire night waiting in line.
Yeah, I feel like the first night of anything at Disney is scary because they are totally working out kinks. It seems like there were a lot of them.
How hard can it be, though? I mean, come on. I'm going to be the bad guy here. How hard can it be? What do people complain about at these special after-hours events? Long lines, too many people, It's the same thing all the time. I mean, learn a lesson from
Well,
Magic Kingdom.
I feel like that what Disney needs to realize is that people like the free stuff, and the lines for the free stuff are always going to be really long. And I don't know if you guys read the same thing that I did, but it seemed like all of the rides were a walk on that night. But the lines for like drinks and snacks were like super, super long.
That's what I
I
read.
feel like that's something that they need to figure out. And when they started up with Moonlight Magic again, that was the complaint when they first started up. So yeah, I think that they need to realize what they're dealing with and have more locations to do those things
Definitely.
so that people are more spread out and the lines are shorter.
You need to double the amount of people that are giving away the treats, or I guess you don't really give them away at these, but double up the amount of stands that are open. And I don't know, but they got to do something because people keep complaining about the same thing over and over again.
Well, I hope that they figure it out because I think that on paper it sounds super fun. Again, it's like I want to get dressed up. I want to go and experience this kind of like nighttime Hollywood glitz and glamour holiday event. And so I really hope that they can figure it out because it would be a shame if didn't offer it again next year because they couldn't figure it out. You know, another park that I feel like is very off of people's radar when it comes to really awesome holiday decorations is Animal Kingdom. If you've ever been back at Dinoland USA during the holidays, I love that whole because that's kind of like the 1970s cheesy holiday decorations like from my childhood. They have Mariah Carey blasting. I love it back there. That's a place that I love to go and take pictures during the holidays, and I feel like it's kind of off of, it's not on people's radar because Animal Kingdom overall doesn't have a crazy strong holiday vibe. Dinoland USA. I
Two
have to give it.
words: Merry Menagerie. The absolute best thing about Christmas at Animal Kingdom. I just want to go snuggle that little wooden penguin.
I agree. And what I love about it is it's kind of the same thing as everything at Disney, but it's so great for people of all ages. Like you've got little kids that are delighted by that thing, and then you've got Phil who goes to the gym for 3 hours every day who wants to snuggle a wooden penguin that's operated by another adult.
Remind me when we get off. I just had a tailor an hour ago look at me with disgust in his eyes because of all the tailoring he had to do for my suit. He hates me. I'll edit
Oh,
that out later,
well,
but I
I
felt
guess
like
you're
I
going to
needed
need
to
to
tell you
stop
guys that.
working out, Phil.
I'll edit that out later, but do you
Um,
think the penguin's afraid of me? Like I'm just gonna squeeze and snuggle him too hard?
Maybe.
well, I don't
possible.
know. Well, I don't know what you're doing to it.
Tell me you don't want to snuggle the penguin.
I mean, I'm kind of more into like the four-legged creatures in the menagerie. I love them how they
Penguin's the
kind of
best.
like, nuzzle their heads up against you. It's cute. I really enjoy that too.
Well, this one went off the rails quickly, didn't it?
I was going to say, for anybody just now listening to this sounds like the creepiest podcast ever.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do some serious editing later.
Don't
This
edit
is
out the
what
good parts.
happens.
Why are we going to deprive people of hearing of this nonsense?
We're gonna keep the listeners we have and invite some new ones. They are gonna bail quickly at the end of me off a tailor and snuggling a penguin to death.
This is a holiday episode that has really turned strange. But
All
anyway,
right, take two. Back to the Merry Menagerie.
to get the trains back on the track here. The Merry Menagerie is great. The Dinoland USA decorations are awesome, and definitely, I feel like most people when they go to Disney for the holidays, they are not prioritizing going to Animal Kingdom to see their decorations, but I think that those are two things that are definitely worth making a priority during the holidays because so much of what is happening at Disney World during the holidays is like really crowded, just so popular. So the little things that you can find that are kind of flying under the radar just give you an opportunity to have some unexpected delightful moments during the holidays. And so how do you guys feel? Do you feel like Magic Kingdom is just holiday headquarters when you're at Disney?
I would typically say yes, but after those pictures from Hollywood Studios, if I go back and think about all of the December trips we do, we routinely end up back in Hollywood Studios at night.
Yeah.
At night, I think it's got the best visuals. During the day, I think maybe Magic Kingdom has it outdone, but as soon as the sun starts setting and Gertie's out on the whatever that what is it, Echo Lake
Echo
that's
Lake.
right there, and then all the decorations and the neon and the Christmas music playing, I think Hollywood Studios just has it grossly outdone at night.
Do they still do the snow?
Yes, at the parties. At the party they did the snow last year when
Oh,
we
yeah,
went
yeah.
at Magic Kingdom. But
Oh, and Hollywood Studios is doing it now too, I think.
I don't know. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I think even during the day, I love those oversized ornaments that they have placed in Echo Lake. Those are just so pretty. The one hanging out of Gertie's mouth. Again, it's kind of like gives you this like throwback nostalgia. They do a really good job of just making you feel like you're in this totally different vibe. It's like holiday, but there's something else about it that just makes you feel in the holiday spirit and makes you feel that nostalgia. I've said it a million times already. That glamorous Hollywood feel. I love that.
Well, let's not
And
forget
I
about
think that
Epcot. Let's
yeah, well, I was gonna say just to go back to Magic Kingdom for a second. I think that Magic Kingdom, I mean, obviously it's completely decorated and you definitely get the holiday feels when you're there, but because it can be so crowded, I feel like a lot of the decorations almost like get lost in the crowds because you like see a sea of people everywhere. I feel like for me, when I think about holidays, the first thing that actually comes to mind for me is Epcot. It's not Magic Kingdom. It's Epcot, it's the Festival of the Holidays, it's the candlelight processional. I mean, for me, I feel like that is what I think of when I think of holiday at the parks. What do you guys think?
don't everybody speak at once now.
Right, exactly. I'm puzzling through this one actually.
When I think of Christmas at Disney, I definitely think of Hollywood Studios. It's my favorite park in the day and at nighttime. I think of the Festival of the Art, or I'm sorry, not Festival of the Arts, Festival of the Holidays. It's my favorite festival at Epcot
Because everything there tastes like toothpaste.
because I like peppermint.
At least you didn't say schnapps.
I think of all the resorts. We love going to all the resorts and seeing the Christmas trees and the gingerbread houses. So I think, me personally, I think more of the resorts and the festivals than any park. But if I had to pick a favorite park for the holidays, I'm going to think about Hollywood Studios first.
Which is really surprising because I think that's probably our least visited park
Yeah.
throughout the rest of the year. But when those holiday decorations come out, you can bet your booty that that's where we want to be just because of the songs and the decorations. And Gertie.
Yeah, I agree with that about the resorts. I mean, I think that the resorts just they do an amazing job of just bringing that holiday spirit to wherever you're staying. You guys know, but for our listeners, last year I visited all of the DVC resorts at the holidays and we posted some videos up on YouTube. So if you want to check them out to see what I'm talking about, you can see the videos on the DVC Clubhouse YouTube page. I visited all of the DVC resorts and for the most part, they all do a really amazing job. I think that, and here we go again. Sorry, Riviera owners, but Riviera and Saratoga Springs to me are the two that really need to step up their games. I mean, Saratoga Springs, but they basically had like one wreath and then these trees inside that had like these tiny horse figurines hanging on it. I don't know. I just did not get the holiday spirit at Saratoga Springs at all. And Riviera, I mean, I don't understand. They have that lawn in the back of the resort. Why do they not put up a big tree in there that when you walk into the resort, you can see it through that window that looks out there?
It would be so pretty.
Instead, they have yeah, it would be gorgeous. And instead, they just have a tree that's like this, I think, smaller than the tree that I have in my
It's a
house.
Charlie Brown
It's
tree.
just, yeah, I mean, they have pretty garlands and pretty wreaths, but that tree is just, I don't know. I think it's a huge missed opportunity for them to have some really gorgeous outdoor decorations. Thoughts?
Yeah, I think. I mean, we jumped from parks to resorts here really quickly. I think that I haven't seen Riviera at Christmas, but I think if you look at the resorts, all right, I'll tell you what. Let's rank them. So, what is your favorite resort for Christmas? And I'll tell you what. I'll knock Wilderness Lodge right out of here. You can't pick Wilderness Lodge. You got to go with number 2.
What?
Because I know everyone's just going to scream Wilderness Lodge.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
It's
That's
the
not happening.
easy answer. No, it's
No,
a cop out.
that's not happening at all. They don't have a gingerbread house.
So you're saying you wouldn't go with Wilderness Lodge first?
No, they were solid number 2.
Okay, fair enough. Because everyone always instantly just yells Wilderness Lodge when you think Christmas. I do know how you feel about the gingerbread house. I actually had to clean up a puddle of drool following you out of the lobby of Grand Floridian last week. It was awful.
And it looks even better this year than it did last year.
Agree.
It does look good. All right, so Scott's going with the Grand Floridian again.
And then
Kathleen?
Wilderness and then Animal Kingdom for me. Those are top 3. Sorry.
I have the same top 3, but I have to ask, like, what is this question? Is it like the favorite tree, or is it the favorite like resort overall?
What gives you the
Overall.
feels?
And I can't pick Wilderness Lodge as my first one.
I got to be the spoiler. No. What have you got?
I'm probably going to have to go with Grand Floridian then.
Okay, you said it was your top 3. So you would have picked Wilderness Lodge for number 1,
Yes,
Grand Floridian number 2. What's number 3?
Animal Kingdom Lodge. Don't look at
Amy?
me like that.
We're all looking at you like that.
I feel like I don't even know you anymore.
I think that Animal Kingdom Lodge is actually my number 1. There is something away about the way that that lobby glows at nighttime in that tree that is just truly magical. I love that. Yes, I also love Wilderness Lodge, but this is probably going to be surprising or maybe not surprising to people, but number 3 for me is Boardwalk. I absolutely love the way Boardwalk looks because those 3 Wilderness Lodge, Animal Kingdom Lodge, and Grand Floridian all have these big giant lobbies to work with. And so I think that's why people tend to name those as their favorite because they're so big and they can fit these huge giant trees and all of these other things that they put in there. But the Boardwalk lobby is smaller. And there is something about like this smaller, quaint, kind of boutique feeling lobby. The way that they hang those garlands from the ceiling and the light fixtures, that is so gorgeous. I love the color scheme of their decorations. I love that they have a tree out on the village green. I mean, Riviera, why don't you do that? It just adds like a little element of outdoor holiday spirit, and especially when your room looks out at it, it's so nice. I've stayed in a room at the boardwalk that looks out there at the holiday time, and it's so fun to just be able to open the drapes and look out there and see that tree. So I really, really love boardwalk a lot at the holiday time. It's pretty and it's cozy.
Definitely.
What about you, Phil?
All right, well, I'm going to be different. And I said we can't pick Wilderness Lodge because I think that's just the go to. It gives you that warm, fuzzy feel when you walk inside, like you're one of the national park lodges with the snow falling outside. So let's go with number 1, the Sleeper Yacht Club. You've got the carousel right next door, but you walk in and you've got garland all over the place, and you've got these beautiful ornaments, and you've got that small but beautiful little tree inside the lobby. Number 2, just for the music alone, I've got to go with Polynesian. The Polynesian music, the 12 days of Polynesian Christmas are just phenomenal. And my kids will come back singing 5 Big Fat Pigs for the next 3 months. And then number 3, I want to go with Grand Floridian. I really do. And I think if you go into Grand Floridian late at night and the lobby is not packed, and you've got the piano being played and the gingerbread house and that beautiful big tree on the other side, I think especially on the second floor, looking down at the lobby, it definitely gives you the feels. The problem with Grand Floridian is that that lobby is always packed and it's always noisy, and there's always a line wrapped around the entire circumference of the lobby to buy gingerbread, and it's harried. I think if you take the people out, Grand Floridian works. And then number 3, I'm going to go with Amy, just being on the boardwalk. That little diorama they have inside the beach club lobby where you've got to identify the hidden Mickeys, I think is just an absolute winner.
Well, completely agree with you about Grand Floridian, and it's the reason why it's not in one of my top resorts for at the holiday time. Even though I love it and I love staying there any other time, the number of people in that lobby, and it's not just on the ground floor, it's then also the people I've seen that monorail line wrapping all the way around to the second level because now they're trying to get back to wherever it is that they came from. And
Okay.
that line is just so unmanageable. So I just find it to be unmanageable, unpleasant. I can't take any really good pictures there because there's always somebody there.
I
The
was
fact
just
that
going
they
to say
have
the tension in that lobby is palpable because you have a whole bunch of people that are trying to take pictures in front of the gingerbread house or the tree, and other people are getting in their way, and then they've got to wait. You can almost feel the tension of everybody trying to get that perfect
Right.
Christmas card photo in front of that tree.
I mean, talk about Rockefeller Center. That is the vibe. I don't know if anybody here I live in New Jersey. I avoid going to see that tree. I used to work in Manhattan, and I would avoid that part of the city like the plague because it's that same feeling where there's just people everywhere. Everyone's trying to push past you to get, the best picture, to get closer. I can't deal with it because it takes that. I like my vacations to feel zen. And so the Grand Floridian lobby during the holiday times is so far from zen.
You're all
It
crazy.
just doesn't make the top of my list.
Crazy.
I will say that my favorite Christmas tree is not at any of those parks or any of those resorts.
I know what you're gonna say because it's my favorite tree too. Nobody's even
I know
mentioned
too.
it.
My favorite tree on property is at the Contemporary outside.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that tree too. I wish it was honestly, I wish that they put that tree behind the Contemporary. It's kind of out there in like the middle of
That would
nowhere in
look
front of the resort.
amazing across Bay Lake, wouldn't it, to see that all lit up on the backside of the Contemporary?
Yeah,
That's a fantastic idea.
I think it would just be it's more accessible there. It would look so pretty, but it is. I love that. I love it so much.
And there is a ton of room by those boat docks. It's a giant area that walks out towards the water. Or even a second
Yeah.
tree. Can you imagine the photos coming from across Bay Lake or looking out from Wilderness Lodge of the Contemporary in the background with Bay Lake Tower and that tree out the backside? The photographer in me just died a little bit.
It would be gorgeous. And we're talking about these resorts, but when you think about the DVC part of the resorts, I really, so taking away like the big grand lobbies from like the hotel sides, I really have to give Boulder Ridge and Beach Club a shout out too, because those resorts in not the main lobby on the hotel side, but of the DVC buildings, they do a really beautiful job too. They have I mean, the trees in the middle of those foyers, because Beach Club and Boulder Ridge kind of have a similar configuration when you walk in. I mean, different decor clearly, but it's kind of like this like a little bit of like a smaller rotunda type of feeling that have tiered balconies. And they have these garlands draped on the rails. They have a tall tree in the middle. Also just quaint and pretty and well done. And I love those too. I think that they are absolutely gorgeous. And I was shocked when I was doing my tour from resort to resort last year. I was shocked by how much I loved Old Key West. I thought I was going to have the same experience at Old Key West that I had at Saratoga Springs in terms of feeling underwhelmed. They did a fantastic job. And talk about the music, like they had great music playing for the holidays. So Old Key West is definitely one that people probably never see unless they are staying there. If you're a DVC member and you've never made it over to Old Key West during the holidays, I would check it out because it's a great, fun vibe.
There's a giant pause because I'm thinking about all the time I spent at Old Key West last week and all the time I'm going to spend there in a couple of weeks. And then all the time I'm going to spend there later. So I think they had just started to put it up towards the end of our little mini trip for Wine and Dine. But you're right, that whole entrance area, the whole front of the resort, the lights that are going up. I think that, yeah, they definitely get the vibe down right. The Christmas music is solid. It wouldn't be on my tops list, but I think they do it well for what it is. But it's very difficult to get in that whole Christmas spirit when you've got the old Key West vibe happening. At least for me, being from New England, that's the other thing is I think I tend to either go with the places that give me that wintry Christmas vibe or the exact opposite, like the Polynesian, because winter to me is snow and cold and, sledding and all that other fun stuff. We had a Christmas up here, I think it was 3 years ago. It was 75 degrees during Christmas, and I felt like I missed a whole holiday. I just can't get into that whole Christmas vibe when it's 80 degrees out and there's palm trees in my face.
Right.
Yeah, I think about the Old Key West decorations. I think about how that's kind of authentic to what Key West would be like at the holidays, that they try to infuse this like holiday spirit because it's hot there. I give them a lot of credit for what they do there to get you into the holiday spirit. You know what? I need to go back because as I'm sitting here thinking, and I said that Saratoga Springs and Riviera both just were so underwhelming. But another one that's so underwhelming again is Bay Lake Tower. I just
Seems to be a theme
that's
with Bay Lake Tower, doesn't it?
yeah, like it's just, we talked about in the episode when we talked about Riviera and Bay Lake Tower about how their lobby is basically just a desk. Well, their decorations kind of reflect that. And again, I think that they had a huge opportunity too to bring some more Christmas spirit in and do something really fun and creative there that I think that they missed the mark. But that being said, other than that tree in front of Contemporary, the decorations inside Contemporary are like total duds too. They're like practically non-existent. So I think Contemporary is really needs to step up their game, especially when you're looking at the area, the Seven Seas Lagoon and Bay Lake area. They are just definitely the bottom of the list in that area.
Well, they're the bottom of the list overall, and when you think about what they're being compared to, you've got that beautiful big tree and gingerbread house in Grand Floridian, as we discussed. You've got the Polynesian with Christmas decorations all over the place and its own special soundtrack. You've got Magic Kingdom right there with the Christmas party and snow falling on Main Street and decorations everywhere. Then you go over to Wilderness Lodge, which is arguably the most popular Christmas time resort there is. Good luck trying to get any reservation around Christmas time at Copper Creek or Boulder
I
Ridge.
just did today.
Been there, done that. Did you get one?
Today.
The last time we did it, I had to wait list it forever and stalk the site in order to do it. And then you've just got Contemporary and Bay
Well,
Lake
that's
Tower.
why
There's nothing there.
I added a small contract at Copper Creek because I wanted to be able to stay not every year, but for the times that I want to be able to stay at Wilderness Lodge for the holidays. I know I'm going to need that home resort advantage. You did not say Fort Wilderness. And if we're going to have a conversation about holiday feels at Disney World, Fort Wilderness is great at the holidays. You've got the holiday horse carriage rides that take you around those campgrounds where people go all out decorating. That is so fun because you kind of feel like you're in this like fun neighborhood. Everyone has the lights, they have the inflatables. It's like really impressive if you've never been over there. And that whole area where Hoop-Dee-Doo is and Crockett's Tavern, they decorate there. It is so fun and like a little kitschy over there too. And I think doesn't Hoop-Dee-Doo do a holiday version?
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a lot of fun to be had over there during the holidays, which is another reason why I kind of have my eye on those cabins because I think that being able to stay there and if you can decorate outside of those cabins and if you can get a golf cart and decorate your golf cart, like that is like just like holiday central for me. Why are you shaking your head at me, Phil?
I'm speechless. We all know how I feel about Fort Wilderness. I'm here questioning every life decision you have made till this point. I'm questioning your sanity. I'm wondering if you've been drinking in the afternoon. None of this makes sense to me. I just played the hi-hat, punchline sound for you because I thought this was a joke at first. And looking at your face, I actually think you're serious about this.
I thought I was the only
I'm
one.
serious about this.
It's the places they really outdo themselves over there. They do the same thing.
Well, the bar's low to outdo themselves in Fort Wilderness.
They dress their golf carts up. They put lights all around there. I mean, it's like It's just fun.
I'm not saying a word because you guys all talked up Old Key West, and I didn't say a word when you guys were talking up Old Key West. But the 3 wreaths that they have over at Old Key West are terrible compared to Fort Wilderness.
I
They
was
have
doing my
more
best
than
to be nice. I mean,
3
Scott
reefs,
saw me just trying
Scott.
to just pull the compliments out for Old Key West. I don't think they do badly, but I think I said, they do well for Old Key West. It's not even close to the top of
You
the
guys
list.
are
And for you to
just,
sit here and
I
with a
don't know.
straight face tell us that the people hanging out in tents and driving around golf carts with lights on them somehow hits
Listen,
the top is
that's
just laughable.
coming from somebody who is ranking a top resort because they talk about 5 fat pigs.
That is an
I
original
mean,
resort that you are bad mouthing there. I would have you know.
You guys did put Grand
Listen.
Floridian in the top because there's too many people there. If we're judging it on population, Old Key West should have won.
well, and honestly, I have to say, I'm actually underwhelmed by Polynesian. I feel like
Oh boy.
they need to step it up too. I think that their tree
Well,
is really
unfortunately, folks, this
pretty.
is going to be the last episode of the Debrief podcast brought to you by DVC Clubhouse because those are fighting words.
I
Look,
think that the
if we are
tree is
ranking Old Key West, then we have to give it extra points for age because half of the people there could celebrate Christmas on Thanksgiving and would not know the difference. They can hide their own Easter eggs.
Let's just end the podcast from now on with steel drum music. That'll make Amy happy.
listen, just because you guys are just ageist, there's a place for everyone. I maybe I'm just, I'm getting up there in my years too.
We're going to go over to
And
Fort Wilderness. We're going to take a lit golf cart over to the communal bathrooms. It's going to be fantastic.
oh, stop yourself. Listen, what I was going to say about Polynesian is I think that their tree is
Getting
beautiful. I
edited
love
out.
it. So aggressive. No wonder why your tailor doesn't like you.
Listen, I can't wait until Amy goes to Fort Wilderness and stays in the cabin because we're going to have a cookout.
Yeah,
Oh, boy.
exactly.
I can have a cookout
it's
in my
gonna be
local
fun.
park. I don't have to spend money on points for that. I can go camp in my backyard,
the
hang some
experience.
lights, play some Christmas music, watch a Disney movie, and call it even.
You live in New England. You live in Narragansett. It is cold there in February. So on February 6th, everyone, we're having a cookout at Fort Wilderness, and Phil is going to be having a cookout in his local park with his snowsuit on.
I would rather sleep in the nude in a tree in New England in February than come down and stay at Fort Wilderness. Bring it.
With this wooden pen.
Well, when I made my mistake before talking about issues, you've got
That's an
issues.
issue.
That
You
if
need to talk
yeah.
to your therapist about this.
No. You need to talk to your therapist about wanting to sleep nude in a tree.
I want to be one with nature. I mean, you take Scott's
Well,
dislike
then you
for
should
Old
stay in
Key
Fort
West.
Wilderness.
That
You
is
can be
exactly.
you
That is
can
how I
be
feel
at
about
one
Fort
with
Wilderness.
nature.
I think we
You
need
can
to
be
go
at one with
live
nature.
during the cookout. We need to go live.
Yes, we do.
Banjo music playing in the background during your live stream.
We all do have issues.
This has been
Yes.
a night. This one's going to be fun to edit. We haven't even truly gotten into the parks. I think we're going to have to actually split this into 2 episodes by the time we're done. I mean, we haven't even gotten into
Oh.
Epcot. We haven't gotten truly into overlays. We haven't gotten into Christmas nostalgia and things that we do every year and traditions. This one could go the distance.
All right. Well, let me just go back to what I was saying about Polynesian. Okay.
Amy's eyeballs
Can
just
would,
clicked. There was a hard reset there.
would you
She's
would you
bound and
just
determined to get
let
that
me
point across.
speak?
Let's hear it about
I think
Polynesian.
that literally every time I try to say anything
Yes,
about Polynesian,
let that hate feed you. Embrace the dark side. Come on.
38 minutes edit.
You realize I have editing power, right? By the time this is done, you're going to be extolling the virtues of Polynesian at Christmas.
Anyway, as I was saying, I think that the tree at the Polynesian is beautiful. I love how they have like the hibiscus and the other flowers. I think they have like some oleander or frangipani or something on there. It's beautiful. I love it. It's like gorgeous, like tropical, like I think flip-flops on that tree. Listen, oh my gosh,
What
everyone.
are you talking about?
Frangipani.
What do you mean? What am I talking about? I'm naming flowers that are on the Polynesian tree.
You just made up frangipani.
No,
You're
I
just making up
didn't.
words now.
I did not.
Funnily,
And I
Oleander
can't
is a skin
remember
cream. I've seen it. Frangipani is a
frangipani.
liqueur.
No, frangipani. No, that's frangelico. Frangipani
Wait,
is
and
what they
they've
call
got
it in Bermuda.
Goldschlager tinsel.
but anyway, what
See, I
was your
drink out
point,
of
Amy?
mason jars. I drink out of mason jars. That's why I like to go to Fort Wilderness. Anyway, my
Moonshine.
point is, I don't even know what my point is anymore because you won't let me talk.
Oh,
I didn't know we were
I've
allowed
been
to
off
do
the
that.
rails.
I need to go to Epcot and have some schnapps right now.
Right after your
And then we can go
frangipani.
live. We'll go live and I'll be drunk. And then I'll tell you all what I really
Schnapps and
think.
frangipani.
Okay.
All right, take 17.
Okay.
I've got Amy completely flustered tonight. She doesn't even know how to start back up.
She's afraid.
So anyway,
So anyway, what about let's talk about Epcot at Christmas. My favorite thing at Epcot at Christmas time is Festival of the Holidays. Yours?
Definitely the food.
Well, people like candlelight processional. They
Oh
like
no, you got to go for the festival. I do like the candlelight processional, but the food is where it's at.
you know, something that I really love at Epcot at the holidays, and it's the only time I will ever go there, is Beer Garden. It is the most festive restaurant of all of the restaurants on Disney property because I find that's another thing. I feel like Disney kind of misses the boat with decorating their restaurants. But Beer Garden is decorated with garlands and lights. That band plays holiday music when you're in there. It is fun, it is festive, and I think that is the restaurant that you should pick when you're doing your candlelight processional packages. Because, I mean, who wants to go to Coral Reef before they
Ever.
go hear the story of the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ?
Right. Nothing says Genesis and the birth of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ like Lederhosen.
I mean, it makes more sense than an aquarium. I mean, if we're being honest here.
I have no idea how I'm going to edit this episode. Oh, we might
I
just
mean,
let
I
it all
think some
fly
of
this
it you're
time.
just gonna need to let some of it ride, and it's
We're
just
just
gonna
gonna
be
need to
what
let
it
it fly.
is. Yeah,
So,
because
as much as Festival of the Holidays is amazing, I've got to say that I think the coolest part for us is probably the Overland Living with the Land. That is an absolutely beautiful ride through at night with all the Christmas lights. We look forward to that. As a matter of fact, when we were there last week, we went in just crossing our fingers. They had started to put it together, and you could see the lights already on all the plants and trees, but they hadn't been plugged in yet. That's just fantastic to ride through at
I
night.
do like that. I don't know. You don't really like that, do you?
No, that one is my favorite. But as good as that one is, it pains me to say that they ruin Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes,
With that
it's awful.
stupid
And there were
Christmas
so many good options there too. There were fantastic Christmas songs that they could have put in that ride to make work. And instead they went with that silly Guardians Christmas special song that's just
Reindeer.
awful.
Rocket. Run, Rocket. Terrible.
Yeah, that they totally missed the boat on that one. There were so many fantastic opportunities and options, and they just they duffed it.
I'd rather hear Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas.
well, then go to Animal Kingdom and go to Dino Land, and
Yeah,
you can
you'll
hear
see
it
me in
there.
Dino Land.
I did like the
I agree.
cookie stroll too.
The cookie stroll is solid. I'll give you that. The kids enjoy doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Has anyone ever actually listened to the different versions of Santa / St. Nicholas going through the countries. We've always talked about doing it, and we've never taken the time to go into each country and see their version. It sounds kind of fascinating.
I've not done it all in the same day, but if I'm there and they're doing it, I'll listen. But to just one real quick to get back to living with the land, I love it also. And it's really great if you can time it that you're going through it at the same time as fireworks because you got the Christmas lights lit up, and then you have when you're going through the greenhouse and you can see the fireworks above. It's magic.
Another chef's kiss for the podcast.
Yes.
So, what is it? December 4th or 5th, actually, we'll get Luminous
The 5th.
premiere. The 5th, because I know it's when we're there. I think it's the second day of our trip. I won't go that night, obviously, because it will be vlogger purgatory, but we will definitely see it at some point. So that's kind of going to be the Christmas gift to me. And I went and listened to the music. Have you guys heard it? It's got a nice little
I have not.
Illuminations feel to it.
No, wait a second. Now that you say that, when I was on the Disney Dream, I was in one of the merchandise shops, and there was a song that sounded like it was a mashup of Illuminations and something else.
You
Is
might
that
have been
what
listening
Luminous
to
sounds
it.
like?
It might be, yeah. It's got. I've only seen the preview of it that they released, and it's been on YouTube. You should go check it out. It's got that feel to it. I've got my hopes up so high.
So do I. I really, really, really am looking forward to it because I really loved Illuminations so much.
I have it in the
But
calendar,
that's
but I don't know if we'll go the first
Absent.
night.
Yeah, we won't go the first night, but absent being able to get a boat like we had tried for, and I will continue to try every day. Maybe that will be our nighttime meetup. You know what? I never even thought to look to see if I could get one over at Epcot. They do have that as well, but I'd imagine those are going to be all booked up now with that date being announced. But we could definitely go over to Epcot one night and catch that.
Definitely.
yeah, that would be fun.
I missed the Osborne lights. Sorry, I had to throw that out there.
Oh, yes.
Most of them
No,
went
that
over to
is
give
an
kids the world.
that is an amazing point, Scott, because that was the Osborne family. Was it called the Festival of Lights? Yeah, right?
Osborne,
Osborne family.
lights. They were named after the Osborne family, which is a fantastic story of how those all made it over to Disney.
Definitely missed that.
I did the Wine and Dine half marathon back in 2014, and the lights were still up, and that's when that half marathon was run at night. And we ran through that, and they had the snow on, and that's like one of my top Disney memories is running through, doing a half marathon, running through the Osborne family spectacular of lights. That's what it was called, right? The Spectacular of Lights.
Spectacle.
Something of lights, whatever. But the lights and the snow, it was absolutely beautiful. I loved it, and I'm so sad. I mean, at this point, even if they kept those lights, they would have had to have gotten rid of them because where would they put them? With that New York street gone, it's
Yeah, the
there'd be
problem,
nowhere
from
for
what I
them to
understand,
live.
is most of them were just consumer grade lights, and they were just spending so much time fixing and replacing them that it just became cost prohibitive. Plus, they got rid of a lot of the parts of the park where those used to be displayed, so that became problematic. A lot of them went over to Give Kids the World, especially that year they shut down. And, in full disclosure, I volunteer there all the time, so I've got a big place in my heart for Give Kids the World. But that was one of the most fantastic things you could do off property, was go over and see the village all lit up with all the houses. It was amazing. We did that for a few years.
Yeah, that was definitely a loss in the parks. I mean, that would have been definitely solidified Hollywood Studios as number one. I mean, Hollywood Studios has always been strong at the holidays, so I mean, it's constantly up there.
We weren't worried about copyright issues. I'd be queuing up Kelly Clarkson's Underneath the Tree right now, because whenever that starts playing at Hollywood Studios, I just start shaking my butt all the way down the
Underneath
street.
the
It's
tree.
fantastic. I've actually got it queued up, but I know we'll get nailed by Apple if we do it. All right, so Magic Kingdom, other than the Christmas party, which has taken over, I think, 6 days a week, every week from this point on. What else gets your attention there? The good, the bad, the ugly?
Jingle Cruise.
I was just going to say, I'll go first. Jingle Cruise is phenomenal.
Can't go wrong with that.
Doesn't
The
Space
Tomorrowland Speedway is fun.
Yeah, when they've got all the lights set up there. I will say one thing about the Christmas party is that Christmas laser overlay inside of Space Mountain. That alone is worth the price of admission. We did it twice last year, and then Space Mountain went down, and my kids were heartbroken. I would go again just to ride the Christmas overlay on Space Mountain.
Yeah, I agree. I loved that too. It's so cool because you can see the tracks, whereas you can't, you normally can't see them. So I love that. I think that overall, I mean, I vowed this year I wasn't going to do any of the after hours party, and I stuck to that. Unlike when I vowed I wouldn't buy any ears this year, and I had to buy those enchanted tiki room ears. But I just, and we touched on it when we were talking about the Hollywood Studios event. I just, for the price of these events, like you're just not getting what you used to get. These after hours events used to be so awesome, and you'd pay like what, like 99 bucks. And I mean, I know that there's been inflation, but I mean, it just seems like it's just gotten outrageous. And especially when you're paying so much already to get into the parks, it's too much money, and you're not getting what you should be getting for what you're paying. So I've decided I'm going to take a couple of years off so that when I finally do go back, I'll feel like I missed it. It'll be fun to do it again, but
We didn't do it for a couple of years, and we're going back again this year during our trip. We went last year. The kids really asked for it. They loved Space Mountain. They loved being able to get hot cocoa in the park. So we'll do it. But with that being said, by the time I put 4 people through the Christmas party, even with my 79-cent DVC discount, it was still $800, I think, by the time I was done. And you're already spending a lot on a trip. Then you've got to bring the 4 kids in, and then there's going to be the merchandise that's only specific to the Christmas party, and everybody's going to have to go home with something like that. It's an expensive outlay, only to be shoulder to shoulder during the parade. And it's not like it was before. It's crowded. There's a lot of people in that park for that after hours event.
There's, I
a
like
lot of
sports.
people, and it makes it difficult seeing the parades. You have to, who wants to spend all of this time like scoping out a spot to stand so that you can see the parade when you want to be able to take advantage of all the other things. And when I went last year, I didn't get to do everything that I wanted to do just because of the sheer volume of people that were in the park that made it difficult to check everything off the list.
I think unfortunately every year they raise the price and they raise the attendance and it still sells out. So until that stops happening, they feel they haven't reached their market cap. That's just what it is.
It is. And I mean, and I think in the world of social media where people are posting stuff on TikTok and Instagram, I mean, FOMO is real. And so, and these events provide great opportunities for great pictures and great videos. And so as long as people are going to be putting up content, people are going to have FOMO, and they're going to pay it even if it's outrageous.
I don't disagree.
So, when you think about the holidays at Disney, Kathleen, you said like you love Hollywood Studios, you love the resorts, you love the Festival of the Holidays. But, when you're thinking about the holidays, what are the things that you think of that are like your traditions, your rituals, the things that you have to do that you love? And I mean, Phil, you go at the same time every year, so you've got to have some things that are just your tried and trues.
I think so. I think part of it is that we have our tried and true traditions for Christmas, but I think part of it is just it's become a traditional week for us. So maybe some of those just merge together. And I think that's why I have such a soft spot in my heart for the Polly and that music, because we leave New England, it's cold, we get down to Polynesian, and we're sitting at the Oasis pool. The kids are playing, and you hear that silly 12 Days of Christmas in the background. And those are your memories. I think I said it to a DVC guide last week. They've got it figured out that the sounds and the smells can spark nostalgia. The sights are something, but you smell certain things. There's a reason that scented candles and car fresheners are such a big sell. People want to get back to what they smelled when they walked in the park, or the confectionery, or Sorin, or the resorts. I can smell the bromide in the Pirates water from 100 yards away, and it reminds me of my childhood. It just takes that smell. So I think the music kicks it for me. But regardless of when we go, we have gotten a Christmas ornament every year from Disney that hangs in our tree, and that has kind of chronicled our trips as a family. I think some years we have 2 just because we saw 2 that we loved. The sight of walking down Main Street and seeing the castle all lit up And I, for one, I know this is an unpopular opinion. I like the projections on the castle now compared to the dream lights. I thought the dream lights were absolutely amazing, but it wasn't worth the crane and photos for 3 months on either side. But seeing that castle all lit up for Christmas is amazing. Seeing the snow on Main Street is amazing. Seeing people all decked out in their Christmas gear and their pajamas for the Christmas party is just super cool. Being able to roll into some of these lobbies. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I carried a kid out in my arms that was half asleep because we just had to see that gingerbread house before the trip was over. And it was late and it was crowded and it was noisy, but the kids wanted a hot cocoa and they wanted to go see it. I think it all just wraps up into, and I'm big on nostalgia, it all wraps up into, for us, being able to go down to Disney on that 1 week and come home and roll right into Christmas. So I think they all kind of merge together in our minds and the kids' minds. Hollywood Studios, it's walking down, seeing the neon, getting that 1950s feel and the music. I think Hollywood Studios just nails the music for Christmas. That's what's first and foremost in my mind. For Animal Kingdom, as I said, it's the Merry Menagerie. I don't get the Christmas feel, but I love the Merry Menagerie at Animal Kingdom. And for Epcot, it's being able to walk through World Showcase and seeing all the different Christmas decorations in all the different countries and how everybody celebrates it just a little bit differently. I mean, how many times do you walk into Germany and see all the pickles out there for the Christmas tree? These are just really cool parts that you can draw into it. I think they all do it really well. I think Disney Springs has come a long way with their decorations. We didn't mention that. You do truly get the Christmas feel in Disney Springs because it's expansive. There's decorations and trees everywhere. Plus, you've got the Christmas tree stroll. They've nailed it. I mean, it was really kind of cool. I don't think we've recorded since then. We were on our way to the resort when we went down last week. And as we drove down the highway past Casting and Disney Springs, there were just flatbeds lined up as far as the eye could see, all loaded down with Christmas decorations because we got in on the 1st of November. So we made it a point to go to Magic Kingdom and see the Halloween decorations, knowing that everything we saw on the flatbeds was going to be there by the next morning. And that's a really cool turnaround for those who haven't seen it. November 1st is the last Halloween party, and it is jack-o'-lanterns and Mickey pumpkins and everything as far as the eye can see. They don't get everybody out of that park until midnight, and by 8 o'clock the next morning, it is Christmas everywhere. So it was really cool to see all of those decorations loaded up and ready to go for the move-in the next morning. Yeah, I mean, to us, Christmas and Disney just go together because of when we've always taken that trip. What about you?
Yeah, for me, I don't really have a ritual because it's never been a ritual that we go at the holiday time every year. And so anytime I've gone, it's been a completely different trip based on the age of my kids and who I was with and if I was by myself or so it's a brand new experience every time. I mean, I agree with Kathleen where visiting the resorts is something that's always special. And one thing I want to mention too about Beach Club is that of the DVC resorts, it's the only one that the DVC pool is decorated. So you can, lay at the pool and see decorations, which I think is just a cool point of distinction and if that's important to you. But I feel like
It's actually
really
not true. They decorate the Fort Wilderness pool. They just drive a golf cart into it.
Well, I'm talking about DVC, and that one's not DVC yet. So whether or not you've driven your golf cart into the pool is irrelevant at this point. But thank you for your 2 cents. Um, so for me, like I had initially had a trip booked for this December. I was going to stay in a 2-bedroom at Old Key West. I was going to bring some extended family. I was really looking forward to decorating my room and bringing a tree, but I had to cancel that trip because it turns out that that's the same weekend that my daughter will be coming home from college. So figured I should be here for her arrival. But
A tree for our bedroom at Old Key West. That's a fantastic idea. Why did I not think about that? I am off to Amazon.
welcome. But I was having real FOMO because you all were going to be there. And so I weaseled my way into Emily's room. Thank you, Emily, if you're listening, for allowing me to stay with you. And it totally is
This
Phil's
was
fault.
totally my
It was
fault.
totally Phil's fault. And so I was having massive FOMO and now I'm going, and I can't wait because and this will be a totally different experience for me than any of my other previous experiences because I'm gonna be going with a large group of friends and we have stuff planned. So for me, it's I guess it's more of the feel and to your point, Phil, it kind of is like this transitional time. So when I come home, we're going to be like right in the thick of the holiday season. And so it's just another thing to, last year when I went and I came back after my holiday trip, I was so in the holiday spirit that I did all of the things in my town that I haven't done for years just because like I wanted to be a part of like that fun holiday spirit, so it definitely gets me even more amped up for the holidays than I already am before going.
You mentioned it, and it's a big deal for us. I make no secret of the fact that I'm a total softie when it comes to Christmas. I love the ideal of Christmas. I love that not Rockefeller Center, but Rockefeller painting, magazine cover, people out ice skating in the small town. I love the whole feel of Christmas. I truly subscribe to the if everyone were as kind to each other the rest of the year as they are at Christmas, the world would be a better place. Now, of course, with that said, Scott and I sat at Epcot and basically judged everyone that walked by the other night. So myself aside, if everyone else could be kinder. But we can extend that out for the kids from the time we leave that first weekend of December and we go down to Disney and you are completely immersed in the Christmas feel. And by the time we come back, we're usually about a week and a half to 2 weeks away from Christmas. And then you've got Christmas concerts at school and you've got all our little small town events and we have to go out and get a Christmas tree. We always end up with the rattiest Christmas tree because we're there late because everybody else has gotten theirs while we've been gone. And then we decorate the tree and we decorate the house and we do our last minute shopping. And then school is out maybe 7 days after we get home. By the time we're done, we get Christmas to last 3 or 4 weeks in our kids' minds. And that to me is just the ultimate. As they grow up, they're going to have that feel of 3 or 4 weeks of Christmas. And that's what they're going to want to do with their kids. And you pass that down so we can get that feeling that the excitement, the love, the all of it wrapped up together between the trip and Christmas. And it's just a fantastic way to keep that feeling extended. If we don't do it, the year that everything was closed down and we didn't do it quite as well, we didn't get that same feel. But it's just that 3 or 4 week Christmas span, I think probably is our tradition when we look at the traditions. And maybe that's what makes it so special to us.
What about you two over there?
I don't.
Bah humbug.
Yeah, I don't know that we have traditions. Not yet.
Well, the past few years we've gone to Grand Floridian on opening day of the gingerbread house. That's like our thing to do. We make it a point to, mark in our calendars when all the, when Boardwalk's little display goes up, Animal Kingdom Lodge's display goes up. We want to go check all those out. Beach Club, we made it over there the other day to see their new display, which was very cute, but I like the princesses better.
What is it now? DuckTales.
DuckTales.
Yeah.
Woo.
So I think that's a tradition for us.
It's definitely our favorite time at Disney, without a doubt.
We make it a point to
I think it's like you're taking the most magical place on earth and mixing it with like the most magical time of year. How could you not love it?
I have a question for everybody. One has to go, and you cannot say Animal Kingdom. Which park has to go at Christmas time? Amy, we'll start with you.
This is as cruel as me saying no Wilderness Lodge. That was well played.
You can only pick one. Has to go at Christmas.
All right, so I'm going to say Magic Kingdom. And I know that sounds insane, but I can't not go to Epcot and do the candlelight processional and the Festival of the Holidays. That's just huge for me. And as we have all, this has kind of been like a love note to Hollywood Studios at the holidays. It's a great park at the holidays. And like I said, kind of the same reason why Grand Floridian doesn't make the top of my list because of the sheer number of people. That's how I feel about Magic Kingdom at the holidays. Like it can just be very overwhelming with the number of people that are there, and it reduces my pleasure while I am there.
I say Magic Kingdom as well.
Phil?
Typhoon Lagoon.
Typhoon Lagoon is closed.
Blizzard Beach it is.
Blizzard Beach. You know what? You can have them both. I will give you 2 parks instead of 1. You can have Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach.
That's hilarious.
That was why I threw my arms up in victory. It suddenly occurred to me what I could answer. Yeah, I mean, intellectually, Magic Kingdom has to go for me. But from a nostalgia standpoint, you just can't get rid of Magic Kingdom. And I think, it's unfortunate you said Animal Kingdom because that's the easy answer, isn't it? I mean, compared to the other 3, you then make it difficult by pulling it out of the selection. Yeah, I mean, Magic Kingdom would probably fall last, but man, I'd die on that hill.
Mm-hmm.
You?
I'm taking away Magic Kingdom. I think it's unanimous. Sorry, Magic Kingdom. The only thing
I think that just shows what a fantastic job they've done with the other 2. That Magic Kingdom, and now to your once every few year visitor, your once in a lifetime visitor, they'd never take away Magic Kingdom, right? That's where the pictures happen. That's where the kids want to see. But for those of us who go on a regular basis, to say Magic Kingdom has to go, that's a pretty big statement.
Definitely.
Now, I will say that sitting outside at Tony's and having a meal out there and looking out at the tree, and when you catch those moments where there's a break in the crowd, that's a pretty spectacular view right there to take that in. Christmas on Main Street from a place where you're not like submerged in the crowd, you're able to be apart from it. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
It's funny you say that because the one thing that was holding me up from just completely bombing Magic Kingdom on that question was the quartet and the Main Street Players coming down the center of Main Street in that horse-drawn trolley in their Christmas outfits, singing Christmas songs. That's the one piece that I couldn't lose. You move them over to Hollywood Studios, and suddenly Magic Kingdom becomes a much easier choice for me. They make Main Street.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is a total aside, but during COVID, when it was, still early on, and the parks kind of just didn't feel the same because of the distancing and the just like all of the weirdness. There was something about walking into Magic Kingdom and hearing the Dapper Dan singing that they were like what made it feel normal. They were what made me walk in and feel like, oh, yes, like this is the experience. It's not just, the rides or which we all know it's not, but it's that nostalgia, that atmosphere, just hearing them made me feel like, okay, like I'm here, even though everything feels different, this is the same. And it feels great to be back.
All right, we are over an hour in. Any last words, guys?
I think for me overall, and we said it, you're taking the most magical place on earth at the most magical time of year. And there is just a nostalgia and like a youthfulness. I mean, going to Disney brings out like the kid at heart in everyone anyway. And when you go during the holidays, there's just a youthfulness and a playfulness that I love. It's completely speaks to the part of me that just, that speaks to my imagination and makes me really truly just feel like the magic of the time of year, the magic of just being in a place where everyone just is feeling happy.
Scott, Kathleen?
Yeah, just like I said, it's our favorite time of the year. It's just one of those things, like even festival, the holidays, I wish it could last longer. But definitely favorite time of year. We love to visit the resorts. That's pretty much it. Can't go wrong.
I do wish Festival of the Holidays was a little bit longer for us since we're blacked out like 10 days of the festival for our passes.
That would leave less time for the follow-up festival, Farts.
Second favorite.
Second favorite. I think for me, those who have hung out with me, I have a fairly I don't know how we describe my personality. On another podcast, I am introduced as Angry New Phil Jr. all the time because I am rather opinionated and I've always got a serious face on. But my wife will tell you that the 2 times that she sees me truly happy and relaxed are at Disney and during the Christmas season. So you add those 2 together, I think it is truly when the best parts of us come out. Some guess maybe Disney is where the worst parts of them come out, but for us, being at Disney is my happy place. Being in the Christmas season is my happy place. And as Amy says, you take the most wonderful time of year and the most magical place on earth and you mash them up together and suddenly everything's okay. It doesn't matter what else is going on. You just cannot beat the merging of those 2 feelings.
Listen, Phil, you don't fool us. We know that you wear your heart on your sleeve of your shirt that your tailor has to alter.
I will tell you that story later.
Well, friends, thank you everyone for taking this journey with us in this episode. We're kind of all over the place. We had fun. We hope you did too. And until next time, we will DVC you real soon, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
See you guys.
And so our journey comes to an end.
Oh, no, please, can't we go back to page 1 and do it all over again?
Started this thing together, and that's how we'll finish it.
Because that, my friends, is where the magic lives.
Top of the hour.